One great thing about Gingy is that it takes care of multiple screens automatically. Using our advanced screen manager, you can easily juggle as many screens as you want. And not only that, the Screen Manager module takes care of all of the aspects of multi-screen management. It manages screen building, transitions, cleaning, refreshing, and also destroying. Let's create a simple Hello World app with the one screen. I've gone ahead and moved all of our previous assets to their own screen titled Asset Screen 2. At the end of this tutorial, you should be able to access them if you like, using the Screen Manager. Okay, first we'll need a new class that extends GUI Basic Screen. It's called Hello Screen 1. The first thing we'll want to do is we'll want to have it extend GUI Basic Screen. Following that, in our constructor function, we're going to pass through two variables, an ID, which is a string, and the transition that we want to occur when switching to the screen, which is an object. Then we'll invoke super in our constructor function and pass through these two variables along with the middle parameter that's simply screenType.screen. The reason we don't pass this through is because it's always constant. Next, we'll have to override some functions that belong to our parent class. Functions ready for override are init, reset, clear, and destroy. But it's also important to call our supers functions in each of the overridden functions. So, override public function, init, and then super.init. Let's just duplicate this function a few times for our other overridden functions. And these will be reset, clear, and destroy. The reason we override these functions and invoke their supers is because we want to maintain the inherent attributes of our GUI basic screen while adding unique functionality as our game or app demands it. These functions are pretty self-explanatory, but they are just the main operations our GUI basic screen goes through in its self-management. The init function is where we'll place everything we want to occur on initial screen opening. This only occurs the first time the screen is opened. The reset is where we place everything we want to occur every time the screen is reopened. Clear clears everything on the screen, and destroy clears everything and destroys it from memory. Let's fill in our screens so that it displays a hello world. First, let's create our variables. So private var num times shown, which will be a simple counter. Private var hello world, which is going to be a GUI text quick object. And we'll go further into depth regarding GUI text quick objects in their own tutorial. And inside of our init function, let's have our hello world variable be instantiated as a new GUI text quick, and it's going to say hello world plus the number of times shown. We'll set our font to size 200, the color to black, and the default font as Levy Brush. And then of course we add the child, hello world. Now make sure you have embedded your fonts. Don't worry too much about fonts for now. If you want to learn more about font implementation and GUI text quick, just check out our tutorial about text objects. Inside of our reset function, let's type num times shown plus plus. And then we'll reset our hello world.text to be hello world. And the new number in our counter. Now every time we re-enter the screen, our counter will count upwards. Great. In our main class, let's instantiate this new screen and submit it to our screen manager. So after we call our init function or embedding assets, we'll just type const hello screen1 will be the name of our screen variable. and it's of type hello screen1 equals new hello screen1, and its ID will be similarly hello screen1, and not the screen, the transition type will be transition types dot bounce down, let's say. I'm just using one of many screen transitions available in Gingy, bounce down, but in an upcoming tutorial we'll go into transitions more in depth. Now, let's type screen manager dot instance dot submit screen hello screen1. And let's add our screen manager dot instance to the stage. And now let's go to that screen. So we'll type screen manager dot instance dot go to screen and the ID, which is hello screen1. Now if we run this, you'll see Screen Manager automatically takes us to our hello screen1. It's just up the resolution a little bit so it's easier for you guys to see. There you have it. Now let's have a look at a few more API commands. If you want to bring your screen in as a variable without navigating to it, you can invoke getScreenById. So, for example, we could type const current screen GUI basic screen equals screen manager dot instance dot get screen by ID. And then we just pass through our screen ID. And now you can interact with variables and functions inside that screen. So for example, let's trace that current screen's ID. As I mentioned before, I moved all of our assets to a new screen called Asset Screen 2. From our hello screen, let's navigate there, and then we'll use a command called back to navigate back again. I've just gone ahead and repeated the same steps we did with our hello screen 1 for our Asset Screen 2. Now in our hello screen 1, let's add a onClick function that will let us navigate to our Asset Screen 2. So we just type stage events manager .register stage click. And the function's name will be onHelloClick. And I'll just create that after our init function. And inside we'll simply type not forgetting the E:***. Inside this function we'll simply type screen manager dot instance just bring that in, screen manager dot instance, go to screen the same way we did in our main class, and then we'll go to Asset Screen 2. And let's just remove this, unregister this listener. So stage events manager dot unregister stage click and on hello click. Just move that to before. So it's our first line in the function. Great. Now inside of our asset screen 2, inside of its onClick function, you can also use back to browse to the previous screen. First, let's go ahead and unregister the stage click. And then we'll simply type, and let's unregister the double click. And then in our onClick function, we'll simply type screen manager .instance .back. For example, you can set this back function to run on a back button click. And then in our on double click, let's implement another function called clear history. Think browsing history. And we do this by typing screen manager.instance.clearHistory. Now if we run it, you can see Hello World 1, and if we click, it'll bounce down to our second screen, and if we click here, it'll bounce down, and in our reset function, our num times shown increases, so now we have Hello World 2. Thank you for watching.